this Bitcoin is very famous for its energy consumption, and you always hear the statement that Bitcoin consumes the same amount of energy as some nation state is named after that. What do you think about those comparisons? Do they make sense?
No.
Yeah. So, why not?
No, I can see that you want to have easy to grasp analogies, right? So Bitcoin is using energy like Ireland or whatever. Yeah, it is easy to grasp. It seems easy to grasp, but it's a false analogy because yes, you may be in a position, but you say, okay, yeah, that's a lot of energy. Sure, yeah, that can be considered as a lot of energy, but I've never read, at least not in the mainstream media, that there was a useful comparison. Useful comparison would be to actually compare it with something comparable, which would be, for instance, other payment systems or the banking systems, financial services systems, for instance. It was never compared to these kind of entities where it would make sense to compare something comparable, right? And the fact alone that it could be accumulated, use the same amount of energy like any nation state, the fact alone doesn't make sense because it's distributed amongst the whole world. And this is part of the mining process, of the proof of work process per se, that actually it is not wasted in terms of you try to solve, which often people think there's a complex equation solved during mining, which is not the case. Energy is not wasted in that, but it is distributed globally. One of the core ideas behind mining and behind this thermodynamical securing of the network is that you distribute that globally, because energy is and always has been globally distributed, which means you don't have all the energy in one place. And this is a huge benefit of using a proof of work. Yeah. Another thing is,
Instead of using energy, right?
and using the energy, yes, yeah. It is not solving use this equation. It's not a complex task that is executed here. It's just a means to distribute the energy usage or distribute the mining hashing rate. And second thing is to thermodynamically secure the chain, because if you use a non-physical consensus algorithm, and would it be non-physical, you basically have a political consensus algorithm, right? Where you actually can derive it without proof of work, yeah, without anything tangible. Then you don't have a really secure chain in this particular case. So proof of work really makes sense in that direction. That if you really want to have a deep, really solid layer one, you obviously have to thermodynamically or somehow else secure it. To my knowledge, to secure it thermodynamically, it's the best way.
Very fascinating. Any advantage in terms of sustainable energy? Because sometimes you do hear statements that is pushing the green energy development. Is that true, or do you see that coming?
Yeah, what we already see in the market is that, especially when you have fluctuations in energy production, for instance, solar energy, a lot of wind energy, and that you obviously have these peaks that must be consumed or otherwise would unstabilize your grid. With unstabilize your power grid, literally you risk a complete blackout when it comes to you have overload in the energy grid. So what they have to do is a dynamic load adjustment, which is they activate further consumers. what is done on a large scale already in Texas is that in these cases, Bitcoin miners take the basic load out of the grid, and they're actually helping stabilizing the grid. And the truth is that there's not only a symbiosis of renewable energies, but they actually need some consumer for their overproduction, right? If you have these peaks. So that's actually a symbiosis. And the second point is that renewables, total cost of production, they are much cheaper than most traditional energy sources. So it definitely makes sense for a Bitcoin miner to use hydropower, for instance, one of the cheapest, cleanest energy sources on this planet. And that all over the world, hydropower is used as one of the favorite energy sources for Bitcoin miners.
Cool. So you see market dynamics playing out.